Dear Aunt Flo is a podcast about bad periods, and I'm your host, Elisa Michelle. Every month, we'll dive deep into my own vagina monologues as I discuss my journey with endometriosis and share stories that we wish someone would have warned us about sooner. I am your new period BFF, so let's get comfortable speaking about our cycles. Hi. We back, she back, I'm back. Wow, it has been a while, and you guys get me today, sweatpants and all. Don't even care. It is that type of vibe, and I'm grateful to be back. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to see you or not really see you because you're seeing me if you're watching on YouTube or you're listening to me through whatever podcast platform you prefer. But either way, I'm back. Back in the building. I haven't left the building, but I have left podcast land because I took an extended summer break. Much needed. And now I'm back and I'm coming in hot. All right? Ready to hit the ground running. Let's see what's new. I created a new logo for the podcast. I created a new visual for the podcast. And this all had been a long time coming anyway. I mean, since the inception of this podcast, I had all of these ideas, all of these grandeur ideas that I just hadn't had time, resources, money to, what is the word? Why am I losing my words? I am not on my cycle right now. We are free. Thank God Almighty. I haven't had time to implement these things. So, finally had the sometimes you're going along with your day or your night and you wake up in the morning and you just get an idea and you have to do it. You have to execute it. So that's what happened one day. Randomly woke up one morning and I was like, it's going down right now. Set up a backdrop, set up all my other things, and did a photo shoot. And then I came up with a logo. Well, that was kind of a process because I'm a designer. I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my so that took a bit of time. But I finally got out what was in my head, what was in my heart. And I think that these new visuals more so reflect what the podcast is about, and that's helpful for other people who are just tuning in to find out about me. But let this be a lesson to you all, whether you're watching or listening. I'm pointing at you. Let this be a lesson that literally nobody else knows what your plans are except for God, okay? And time has no bounds on him. So yes, just start. Do things in your own time, whatever the case, but literally nobody else knows what you want to do except for you and God. So don't stress over it. Don't fret over it. It'll happen in its own time. Like me starting this podcast in January with a random visual and logo that I just came up with on the fly because I just wanted to get this thing started. I wanted to get all of my stories and thoughts and feelings out. And so that's what I did. And up until now, that was January. So now is October and we're finally putting out what we actually wanted to start this podcast with. So whatever, just do it, just start, just make it happen. And also things will happen in their own time because no one else knows what your plans are except for you. That was a lot. I told you. Coming in hot. I'm starting. I'm back at the jump off. Let's get it. Right. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Elisa. I started this podcast, Dear Aunt Flo, about my bad period because it's my bad period and I can call it that if I want to. If you are watching on YouTube, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell for notifications for when new episodes come out, and engage with me in the comments, okay? Talk to me, discuss with me. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, Spotify in particular, there's usually always a Q&A or a poll. I invite you to engage and interact with that. But yes, if you're listening or watching, I also invite you to leave me a review on Apple Podcasts, and that's so others can find me and we can get this community growing and learning and discussing and engaging and all the good things, okay? I don't care how bad we talk about our periods. I don't care if you have a good period and you want to come on here and offer some words of encouragement. Whatever the case, I invite you, I welcome you, and that's me. I started this as a way to share my own story as I live through painful menstrual cycles, aka endometriosis. And I share all of my experiences along the way in hopes that someone out there feels a little less alone in this journey. Endo affects 8 in 10 women, and that's just one woman too many. And so we always start these episodes with a letter to Aunt Flo, so let's get into it. Dear Aunt Flo, the beginning of summer wasn't horrible. And that's saying a lot, okay? I was still experiencing some pain, but it was manageable with meds and heating pads and a lot of raspberry red leaf tea, like a lot of tea. And to drink tea in the summertime, whew, you know it's real. Here's hoping. Sincerely fed up, Elisa Michelle. Okay, so today I want to take some time and talk to the doctors of the world, the health care professionals, emphasis on the care, the HIPAA oath keepers, and the pharmaceutical dealers. What gives? I mean, seriously though, what? I've been on my endo journey for 6 years. Which, when I think back, it probably started sooner than that with the cramps and especially with the heavy bleeding. But the real test of my life came in 2018. And I've shared my endo story at the inception of this podcast, so I invite you to pause here and listen to or watch those previous episodes, the first and second episode, because it's a part 2 series. And then get back in here because I have more to say. But the real test of my life came in 2018. And we're still fighting, okay? We are still trucking along trying to get some answers. I don't know if anyone watches the show Homecoming, the spinoff, the All-American spinoff, which was prematurely canceled, if you ask me, but I digress. Recently, there was an episode, and if you don't watch it, I'm sorry, I'm about to give some spoilers, so spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this part, you can skip to somewhere else. I don't know. But anyway, recently there was an episode where the main character, Simone, played by Jeffrey Maya, was experiencing a pain in her shoulder armpit area. And as a tennis player, she just chalked it up to it being the cause of a previous injury. And so she didn't really think much of it, but the pain persisted, right? So she reluctantly called her doctor to make an appointment, but her doctor was not available for weeks, for months. And I don't pause here. Why is that? Why is it so hard to get a doctor's appointment when we need it? The immediacy of the pain or the immediacy of the problem that we're experiencing. And we can't get a doctor's appointment for months on end. Ridiculous. Okay, back to the story. So anyway, she called, wasn't able to get an appointment, so reluctantly she agreed to see a different doctor. Now, picture this, black woman, fictional TV character and all, but still a black woman, having to go see a new doctor who was a white male. She went in with a plan to request an MRI, and this doctor basically told her to take some Advil and sleep it off. Literally, take some Advil and sleep it off. and said that she was in perfect health because all her other tests that she's been taking have come back normal. Her physical tests are fine. Like, nothing's wrong with her. Like, suck it up, basically. And you're a strong Black woman. You can take it. No. So she pushed back. She wanted an MRI. She kept requesting an MRI. He kept saying she didn't need an MRI, but I'll do blood work for you to ease your mind. So, reluctantly, again, she agreed to get the blood work done. And of course, those tests came back normal as well. It showed nothing. So she took matters into her own hand and asked a favor of a friend who knew a doctor. And she was able to get an MRI that way. And then it turned out that she had early stage breast cancer. Now imagine going to see a doctor about a pain that you are experiencing in your own body and getting told it's nothing. Let's just do some blood work to shut you up, basically. Now I know this is just a fictional TV show character, but it was a very good representation of how hard it is for Black women to be heard when we inquire about our health. And that is my point. And that is sad, and it's disheartening, and it's wrong, and you doctors should be ashamed of yourself. How long do we have to tell someone what is happening to our own bodies for you to listen? Why does it take running through hoops and bounds to receive basic care, let alone adequate care? These TV shows aren't pulling from thin air. Jeffrey's character was surely pulling from real life experiences of women all over the world, or at least from this country, good old US of A. I myself have gone through a myriad of doctors over the years, and I'm currently not settled on a GYN because I haven't felt safe with anyone that I've seen. And unfortunately, that includes Black women doctors as well. And I'm not going to stop trying to find a new doctor until I have one that I know will advocate for me, one that I know will feel safe, especially when I can't advocate for myself. Imagine going somewhere where this pain that you're experiencing, the pain takes you over and you're no longer able to speak for yourself. You want someone in your corner. If you don't have a partner or a friend or a parent or someone with you, you need someone in your corner who will advocate for you. So think about that when you're visiting these doctors and making appointments with these doctors. Will they be with you? Okay? Will they shoot with you in the gym? Like, ask yourself that. Because when it comes down, to the nitty gritty, like, you have to have someone who's going to be in your corner. You have to. And for those who don't care for TV show examples, I have a real life friend who was experiencing cycle pain, and she thought maybe it was her IUD and she wanted to take her IUD out. But her doctor was less than helpful. She was able to finally receive an ultrasound after persistently asking for one. But as most of you know, or some of you know, they don't always show the full picture. And I let her know to maybe request an MRI because they show a deeper picture. They show a bigger picture. So she'd been toying with the idea of taking out the IUD, but her doctor was against that. Because, of course, I feel like you guys are against anything that, goes against the, just say it, monetary incentive. You guys are probably getting paid and getting, commissions for prescribing birth control or prescribing whatever, drug at the time that's popular and getting pushed. And when we don't want that thing in our body, you don't like it. And that's just not how healthcare should be. My friend shouldn't have to push this hard to get an MRI, to have her voice heard, to have her pain addressed. It's not just period pain. It's not normal behavior. And I feel like doctors, you guys need to learn to look into the root cause of these issues. Like, is her IUD properly inserted? Did it shift? Maybe that's what's causing her new pain. Does she actually have endometriosis, but it's been masked by the birth control hormones that she's been ingesting for years on end? Why are we having to push for deeper questions when you have the ability, knowledge, and wherewithal to do that for us, to answer these questions, to help us through these things? It should not be this hard. So, dear doctors, I invite you to do better. I encourage you to do better. I implore you to do better. Bring the care back into healthcare and really see your patients as more than just a paycheck. They are people. They are real life people. They know their bodies. They understand their bodies. They live in their bodies. Listen to what they're saying is happening to their bodies. All right. That concludes my rant for now. But I think this episode was a good re-entry into podcast land. I missed you guys a lot. And I hope that you guys missed me and my interesting period stories and my rants and my doctor's whatevers. And I can't wait to share more with you over the next few months. I have some cool episodes planned. I promise I won't leave you in the lurch this time around. I did need that summer break to work on some other things that I have going on. But I am here. I am here for discussions. Please leave comments. If you have any doctor stories, I would love to hear them. Share them with us. I want this community to be an open space, a safe space first and foremost. I want this community to be an open forum for discussion, for pushback, for questions, for answers, for opinions, advice, whatever. What I don't want is for people to come on here and belittle or dismiss other people's experiences. So if you have a great doctor, wonderful, share that experience, but don't belittle the person who doesn't have a great doctor experience. You know what I'm saying? So let's just keep that in mind. But yeah, doctors, healthcare professionals, I really implore you to do better. I think that it will leave your conscience feeling a little bit lighter to know that you care, that you are standing by your oath, that you are really helping to push a people forward and not backwards. So, yes, we always finish episodes with an affirmation. So let's get into that. Affirmation for this episode is: my voice will be heard through the noise and I will rise above. So say it with me. My voice will be heard through the noise and I will rise above. I love you. I see you. I hear you. Peace. Hey BFFs, thanks for tuning in to Dear Aunt Flo. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to show support, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. This will help more period BFFs find our community and add to the conversation. Follow on IG at dearauntflo.pod and let me know what topics you'd like to cover this season. Catch you in the next episode, period.